I saw her this morning. She said it was at something. That's what she said. You're right.
I gotta get this right now.
And then a couple of days, then I have to tell
Which side?
United States of America. For which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Play ball.
8 days.
All right. Then.
So I have a motion to accept the minutes.
I move.
Second. All right, so first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out to the meeting tonight. I didn't know about you, but I'm canceling my subscription to Wisdom because I've had enough. Yeah, 6 more weeks and I think we can just pay that.
He's only 35% accurate.
Yeah, well, you know what, it's funny.
Constitution bill is only 35% accurate.
Whether you sit in the shadow or not, we're using 6 weeks, the calendar, whether we sit in the shadow or not. Yeah, I think dealing with the snow, it's this ice is really getting on. And I know everybody here in jobs, you see that. It's just blocks of ice, and so it'll be melting till August. Oh, me too. All right, let's introduce ourselves.
I'm Adam.
Damn.
I'm Adam.
Good.
I'm Adam.
Papa, it's on you.
Okay, so Captain McDougal, you are.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Captain.
Uh-oh.
Our crime report for this CAB meeting is going to compare January 1 to January 29, 25 versus 26. And the top 3 calls for service are identical, 1, 2, and 3. Nothing changes. Suspicious incidents 1, check on subjects 2, and 911 hangups were in the 3rd spot. The total calls for service were increased by 2%, and our total crash data is actually down 29%, which is a big decrease. Our Part 1 crimes are serious crimes. Homicide, zeros, rape, 0, robbery, 0. Assaults went down from 9 to 8, so I saw a decrease there. Burglaries went from 1 last year during this time frame to 2 this year. Our auto thefts were at 4 last year, we're at 1 this year. And we've had a big increase in thefts. We went from 23 to 40.
Wow.
We have a large part of this, though, are shoplifting. We've been having a huge concentration and effort on shoplifting cases across the county, down in this area as well. We've had a few details in January where there's been a bunch of arrests and a bunch of reports written, so you see the increase there. We've also had a slight increase. It's still down like mid to late January, but we had a lot of theft from autos where guys and girls' vehicles were, the suspects are actually all guys, busting windows and grabbing things out of them. We had that throughout the county and had a few down in Edgewood, Joppa area as well. So that theft includes shoplifting and those theft from autos all in that number. The school bus violations, and this is for the whole month of January. January of 2025, there were 646 of these violations. January of this year, 411. So it's pretty consistent. The decrease is going down this school year versus last school year. And the overall numbers for the school year, year to date compared to last year, are also down. Our overdoses are on here as well. We had, during this time frame, we had 1 non-fatal in 2026. We've had no fatal overdoses in 2026 so far during this time frame.
Yeah.
A few other things I really quick wanted to get out before I take any questions. Lieutenant Burgess, who was struck on 95, if you all remember a few months back, long road to recovery, but he is back to work today in a modified capacity. He's not full duty, like full uniforms, gun and all that stuff. He's back in a desk duty, like a modified Awesome. Today was his first day back. Thank you, thank you. I will let him know you guys are thinking about him. Drug take back, we had here as a precinct. It is going to be on February 28th. It was postponed. It was going to happen during a snowstorm, so now the drug take back will be here on Saturday, the 28th of February. And then also, for those who don't know, have seen us on our social media, we are hiring. We have, in my 21 years here at the Sheriff's Office, we have 21 vacancies in law enforcement. I've never seen it that high. So we are in desperate need. So if you all have any friends, family members who are looking for a job, we are hiring. We're running back-to-back law enforcement academies. Actually, we have them starting in a few months, and we'll run another one again in the fall. We're also hiring lateral applicants as well. So if you know somebody who's law enforcement in another jurisdiction, we're hiring those folks as well. So please get anybody out there who's unknown. And that is all I have. I could take any questions. There's any.
Have you seen any real results from the drug boats being taken out of action and the drugs not being brought up here or brought into the States?
That would be a great question for the commander of our drug task force. I don't know, as that ripple goes out from the source areas, how much of an effect we see yet. It may take some time for us to see that effect, but I haven't heard any reports of that locally in Crawford County.
Those theft from autos,
Yes, sir.
do those include any from down in Maryland Point?
These stats would include that, yes.
Okay, and how many exactly was there?
We had, they weren't in January, I believe they were in December.
Right.
Yeah. 2 or 3.
Okay.
My memory serves me.
So I guess the counsel to people would be, if you have something in your car that looks like it's of value, put it in the trunk, or put it away, or put it under your seat, hide it, right? I think they're seeing something visually in the car that says, oh, that's a computer.
Yeah.
Let me bust a window and take it, or that's a phone, or whatever, right?
Yes, and typically they target vehicles that are at parks, like Mariner Point Park, or gyms, where they suspect the vehicle owner is going to be away for a while from the vehicle. There are 2 primary locations.
Go ahead. You haven't heard of any ICE presence in Norfolk County yet?
ICE presence?
I ain't not talking about stuff out there either.
I know, a lot of that. I know what you're talking about. No, I haven't heard of any. I haven't seen them here or calling us for assistance or seeing them out in the communities. No. A lot of the reason that we don't have, I could talk about 287G for folks in the room who don't know about the program. Okay, if you guys want to talk about that, I can talk about that. But that's a large reason why I think we don't have that. Everybody who's arrested in Harford County when they go to our facility, everybody's screened for immigration status through our 287G program. And if there is a detainer placed, we communicate with ICE and cooperate with them on those.
Do you think that keeps the problem down? Because it seems like here and the other jurisdictions throughout the country and stuff that are cooperating, you don't have the whole hullabaloo or whatever, whereas there's nothing and then they're trying to fight it. It seems like that's where all the confusion is. So isn't it just better to cooperate?
Yeah, so I would say that if we didn't have that program and we had people in our community who were committing crimes and they weren't being screened by us at 287G, but they were illegal, and ICE was aware of them committing crimes and being here illegally, yes, you're right. They would have to take action then because something needs to be done, right? So they would come in, and that's what you would see potentially. I think what the question was about. You would see that. Whereas now, if there are members in our community that are here illegally and they commit a crime, everybody's screened. Everybody goes through the same process. We'd be alerted to that, and it would be handled safely while they're in a facility and already they are in the possession of the government for a crime they already committed.
One other question. You may not be able to comment on this because for legal reasons, We understand there's a huge lawsuit brought by a number of organizations against the sheriff and the detention because of the abnormal amount of suicides being, done in the detention center, more than anywhere in the United States. Can you give any, explanation on that without getting in trouble?
That is, so in the sheriff's office, we have law enforcement and corrections. That is the correction side of the house that I don't know anything about. I worked there for 2 months when I first got hired here when I was 20 years old. And that's my exposure to the corrections detention facility. I'm sorry, I can't answer your question.
Go ahead, Jan. Go ahead, Jan.
Your recruitment efforts, are you guys still doing a signing bonus, and then is there also a referral bonus?
Yes, there is a signing bonus, and it varies between corrections and law enforcement. So I don't want to give you the wrong numbers.
Sure.
Yeah, 10,000, 20,000, somewhere in that range.
And if I bring you somebody, not myself, I get a bonus too?
That's a great question. I am unsure of that, but you could probably negotiate with the person you bring to get a cut of it.
I guess it depends on whether or not you bring the cuffs or not.
One at a time, hang on, Melissa.
Alright, so sorry, forgive me.
Yes, chef.
Forgive me, I'm so sorry, I have an older lady who's gonna come tonight, but I think she's gonna miss your segment. One of her neighbors lives in an apartment and she's been missing for 4 weeks. And she's 82 years old. She doesn't have a next of kin. So the sheriff was called, they went inside, nobody was found inside. Her cars were sitting outside and she just didn't know what else she could do. She doesn't have social media, of course, and she didn't know what else to do because she's not next of kin. So when she comes, I'll tell her, come talk to us.
Have her make contact. They may have, I don't know if they followed up with her. They may have got a hold of somebody, some family or something. They may have located
She
her.
has
They may
no
have.
family in Maryland.
They may have found that she was transported to the hospital. Maybe it was a call to the house. But they could have found out what happened. It just didn't.
So they have a eviction on her door of her apartment, and I can't get into her details, but her name is Miss Grace, and nobody's seen in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'll have that person.
Does she have? If she has the information of who she spoke to before and a case number when she initially called, that would be helpful for them to see if there's any follow-up information.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
That was ironically one of the questions I was gonna ask, because I was looking at a bunch of documentaries and everything. Do we have I know we had the thing where the Harford County 9, the sex ring, but is there any enforcement of efforts in Harford County with the senior, that now there's a big problem with trafficking seniors? And so has that problem come into Harford County yet? And do we have a unit that's addressing that, or are they working in conjunction with like the sex trafficking unit?
So we have. I haven't heard of any.
Trafficking seniors.
I haven't heard of any of those cases here in Harford County. But to answer your question, we do. We would have really 2 different entities within our office that would investigate that. We have human trafficking, which that incorporates senior trafficking as well. And then we also have in our criminal investigation division, we have a unit that investigates a lot of elder abuse, financial, and a lot of times it's financially as well. And I think that's what's happening in these cases. They're trafficking elderly folks and utilizing information and financially exploiting them through different measures. So we have 2 different groups that would investigate that crime if it were to come, if we had a case like that here.
Last question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Been getting some text messages lately in reference to a smart 911.
Smart 911?
Yes, is your smart 911 profile up to date? Now, granted, I just deleted and blocked it, but I was just
That's part of
wondering, is that something that your department's putting out, or the emergency services?
That's emergency services.
It wouldn't be us, it would be our emergency services, and I'm not aware of it.
Emergency services does it. You can text 911 in emergency if you don't want to get on your phone.
Okay.
You can send a text in, like if someone's in your house and you're hiding in the closet, you can text them so they don't hear you calling.
It's legit.
911, write your text like you would another text.
All right, now is it legit for the,
Yes.
for the smart 911 profile, or is that something, is that somebody fishing?
I would be, if you need to text 911, then you just text them or call them. I wouldn't set up a profile through any links that are sent to you unless you call EOC directly. That's my recommendation.
All right,
Thank you. Just real quick before we get to our guest speaker, the sign-up sheet is going around. If you'll notice on the top, I added a note. If you're already getting notifications, you don't have to put your email down again. Just, sign in that you're here. Just put your email down if this is your first time, or if you're not receiving the agendas and any of the notifications, so that Gloria can update the emails. And if somebody would please remind me to pick it up at the end of the meeting, because last month I have no idea where it is. Which is why you have a new sign-in sheet. So, with that, I would like to introduce our guest speaker is here, yes? And this is Karen Winkowski from the Department of Aging.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. You gave us the lovely blue folder at the last.
I did. I didn't bring them because I was here not so long ago, but if anybody really wants them, we'll get them here. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out in the cold. You're some brave souls. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for spring and a good thaw. Thank you for having me here tonight. How long do I have to talk?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to go through the highlight sheet that I handed out to all of you, and I'm going to kind of go through it quickly because last time we had a lot of questions, and I want to leave some time for questions. But the first thing you need to do is take the pen I gave you, push the ink out, remove the little wax ball at the end so the pen will work. Because otherwise you're going to go away and open up this pen and tell me I gave you a cheap pen that doesn't work. And these are actually really nice pens. So anyway, it happens all the time, but that's to keep the ink from drying out and protects our investment so we can buy lots of them at a low cost and give them out across the community. So anyway, thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the programs and the services in the community that are offered through Harford County Office on Aging. We sit in Harford County government under the Department of Housing and Community Services. And some of the programs that you're probably most familiar with in the community that we operate are our senior centers. So how many people have ever been in any of the senior centers in the community? Okay, closest one here is up on Gateway. A little bit different than our other centers, standalone building. Has been the site for the warming shelter for the last almost 2 weeks here. So we were happy that we were able to help with that. And we're on the side of the sheet that says Seniors Activity Centers. So the Senior Activity Centers operate in 4 locations in the community. We started, after Edgewood was built, it was a standalone center, but then there was a decision made, which was, I think, a really smart decision, to create multi-purpose and multi-use buildings. So the other 3 buildings that we operate are shared use buildings. 2 of those buildings serve 3 community purposes and 1 serves 2. During the day at Fallston, at McFall, and at Haverty Grace, we operate senior center activities from 8:30 to 3:30. Late afternoon, and then of course in the summer we've got kids in the building at 2 of those locations with Boys and Girls Club, and then in the evening of course is Parks and Rec activities. So it's great use of property and the capital investment because the buildings are busy, busy, busy around the clock. This is testified by the fact that I keep hearing complaints about there's not enough parking. So, and unfortunately we're a little bit landlocked, so there's not much we can do about that. But the senior centers are open to anybody 55 or better. You do not have to be a Harford County resident. You do not have to be a Maryland resident. Membership is free. So all you have to do is go in and complete your paperwork. There has some, legal things we've got to get signed, and you have to sign those in person. But the reason we don't limit membership to Harford County residents is because the bulk of the funding that supports the operations of the senior centers comes from the Older Americans Act, which is federal dollars. So if you've ever been to any of the senior centers, if you participated in the classes, you know we have a lot of activities going on at a given time. We operate a 4-semester curriculum. We're basically like a community college for older adults. We offer a lot of different classes, but by far our most popular offerings are our fitness programs, and we offer everything from very seated, very gentle classes, yoga, things like that, all the way up through some pretty aggressive classes that make me feel tired and intimidated just watching them. And then, of course, we have unstructured activities and things that go on, social activities, entertainment, pickleball, basketball, volleyball, puzzles. We've had lifelong learning classes like computers and languages and all kinds of things. If you name it, we probably offered it. Any given time, most years we offer about 120 to 140 classes a year. So there are some things that are tuition-based, but not everything is. Hartford Transit does provide transportation to 3 of our locations. It does not go up to Fallston. Hartford Transit doesn't run up there right now. And we offer a meal program at noon at most locations. Some centers it's every day. Other centers it's not every day. It just depends on the interest and the demand. That is donation based, so if someone can't afford to pay for their meal, we're not going to turn them away. And it is 1/3 of the recommended daily allowance. We're required to make sure we tick that box for the federal funding. We do a lot of health promotion program and nutrition programming in our centers beyond just a meal. We know that making sure we're active in retirement is really important. Everybody talks about financial planning in retirement, but making sure you plan to be active, making sure you're socializing, connected with other people, and staying engaged is very, very important to our brain health, to our sense of well-being, and just to how well we age. So we try to make sure that we have a little bit of something for everybody. Let's see. I think that's pretty much, we do have bingo, but we're not just about bingo. We offer lots and lots of different things. Any questions on senior centers? Okay, I saw you first.
Do you have any activities for people suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's?
We do. We received some funding, new funding that we got last year. We do some educational program and awareness programs in the senior centers, but the program that we got funding for is called Memory Cafe. It's in partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. Memory Cafe is a national model. And basically the idea is to provide socialization for individuals with a diagnosis and also their caregivers, and to give them an environment where they can be around other people who understand. Because if you're, maybe a caregiver, you might not feel comfortable going out with your loved one to a restaurant because there might be behaviors that people might not understand. But when you get the opportunity to go to a lunch, which we finance in this program, and receive some educational information and some supports and referrals and be around other people who are in the same circumstance as you and build like a connection, a support system, it's been very, very helpful for people. So we're in the 2nd year providing that program. We also provide in our main office some case management supports and services, and I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Okay, is there a specific number to call to put people in contact with that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the very bottom of the page, the 410-638-3025, you can call that for anything Office on Aging.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for the question. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, for those of us who have loved ones over 60, and we want to accompany them to one of these classes, is that frowned upon? Can we do it?
The only way that really works, because we are funded to serve a population that is older adults. So our funding doesn't allow us, like, you couldn't participate in a class unless you were in a caregiver role where your loved one was dependent upon your support to be there for them to be able to be in the center. We've had, and it's unfortunate because providing caregiver services is really expensive. Adult daycare is really expensive. In-home service is really expensive. So we've had plenty of circumstances over the years where people have had a loved one move in with them. They're not active during the day. They bring them to the center, and then we find out that person can't function independently in the center. They maybe have problems figuring out how to get from point A to point B, or feeding themselves or whatever, and we're not set up for that. We just don't have the resources. Most of my centers at any given time have 2 staff people for 300 to 400 people in the building. So you could certainly come on a tour and do a walkthrough in that way, but because of the way we're funded, we're not multi-generational in that respect.
Okay.
Great question. Thank you.
I just really wanted to join the Tai Chi class.
Well, you should go on our website because we did put a lot of classes up there during COVID. You might be able to find it on there. Or have them teach you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Are any of the classes or anything done in other languages? My grandmother's basically only speaks Spanish, and she's moving up in with us in a few weeks actually. So I'm trying to find things for her to do while she's with us.
We do have some instructors that are multilingual. I'm not sure which classes in particular, but the best thing to do would be to go to the center, call and make an appointment, and go into the center, talk to the center manager, do a tour, and just talk to them about that concern. And we'll do whatever we can to accommodate the needs.
Thank you.
All right. Yes.
What are the costs for the 10-week courses?
It's different for every class. Some of our classes are free, they're taught by instructors, but it's based on what the tuition, what the instructor charges. So basically, we bring in what we pay out to the instructor. So it depends upon how long the class is, how frequent it happens during the week. It can be anywhere from 40, I think some of the classes are 30, but it goes all the way up to maybe like $60 and $70, but they're not much higher than that. That's one of the reasons our fitness classes tend to fill up the first day or first week of registration, because we're such a good deal compared to like the other fitness centers in the community. And the other really good thing about what we offer is, you imagine if, I imagine I could join the senior centers, I'm eligible. I go to take a class, and maybe it's the first time I've taken a Tai Chi class, and I want to be with other people who are kind of learning and maybe have a similar skill set to me. I maybe don't want to go take a class with somebody who's 20 and has a lot more balance and limberness than I do, and our instructors are trained in teaching the population that we serve. So that is one of the nice things about what we offer.
Okay,
So it's different by every class, and the catalog is available online, so you can go and look at it anytime you want. The website is at the bottom.
Okay, so the charge is to cover more so the class and like materials and stuff. I was just wondering what the difference is, because to come in, the point that you make about being with your own age group, but the thing is, anybody receiving Social Security can go to any community college in the state for free. That's all
And
across
that's a
the United
choice.
States
Yeah, that's definitely
under
a choice.
Social Security.
Or
so
you
it's
could do
like-
both. You could do both and be very busy.
Yeah, I was just wondering what the.
Yeah. We do have scholarships when people, we have a scholarship fund that we created, so if somebody is really struggling and want to take a class, they can get a scholarship for one class, I think twice a year.
Okay, so you do
We
scholarships
do
like
have
the Y
scholarships,
does.
yeah, you have to reach out
Okay.
to the center about that. Okay, so we're gonna jump over and talk about the main office functions, because that tends to be the part of what we do that people don't know so much about. Because, generally, we all don't think we're as old as we are, we all feel younger than we are, and we all think we're gonna be healthy and well forever, or we think our loved ones are gonna be healthy and well forever. And then something happens, and who are you gonna call? You're not gonna call Ghostbusters, you're gonna call Office on Aging, because you wanna know what we can do to help. So when someone calls our office for assistance, and people call for everything, let me tell you, we had a lot of calls about snow removal this week and last. And it's difficult because it's just, we have a couple resources, and by an hour and a half into Tuesday morning, they were calling and like they were tapped out, they couldn't do anymore. So. But people call us for everything. I've had people call us about groundhogs in their backyard because they were a senior and they were looking for help about that. Or we've had people call us and say, hey, I'm looking to start dating again. Can you help me with that? And then people call us for very serious things as well. So it's just, we're there. That's what we're there for. If you call our office looking for assistance, it could be maybe you need to borrow a cane or a rollator because you have a temporary need for something. We have a loan closet for that. Or maybe you have a loved one that's moved in with you and you're looking for what's available in the county for seniors. Or maybe you need help paying your prescription copays, or you don't understand Medicare. Every call that comes into our agency is triaged, and when we triage, we're not just going to look at the fact that you need a cane, here's the loan closet, here's your cane, see ya. It's not how we operate. You would probably think we're a little bit nosy, because what we're trying to figure out is what is the next fire that's going to happen? What's the next crisis that could be in the wings? And how can we help prevent that? So we really try to look at a holistic picture of what could be going on to try and support our community in being independent and well, and maintaining independence and dignity as we get older. So that's the first step. You get triaged. Depending upon what your need might be, if it's sometimes it's just like, I need a phone number for something. Well, here it is. Or how do I find out about senior housing? Here's a list. Sometimes we need to do a little more in-depth intervention, or the need is more serious. And at that point, the individual would be referred to most likely a case manager. And our case managers are regionally assigned so that they know their communities very well. Also, it's efficient because we do some home visiting. And if somebody, I don't want my staff to have to drive from Edgewood to Falston to Haverty Grace to Bel Air to Aberdeen to see their clients. It's just much more efficient if we sort of focus regionally. So that would be the next step. You would be connected to a case manager who would do a little more in-depth research into what your situation is and try to connect you with resources and services and programs. Same thing if you're a caregiver and you're looking for support, we would connect you with that information and those resources. Sometimes people just need a light touch and they can go on their way and do their own thing. Sometimes people need more than that. Sometimes people need help once a year doing redeterminations or applications for something and they struggle. Or maybe they have a vision deficit and we help with those things, help them to do those applications. But some folks need a lot more intervention, and there are some clients that we feel like we're literally talking to them a couple times a week to try and support them. One of the main ways that we can support people in the community is through a couple of programs that are state funded. And I'll talk to you about these programs, and I'm going to also tell you what's happening with these programs, because something's going to happen very soon that I'm concerned about. And that is because the state has taken a shift in how they're focusing this program, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'm worried. So one of the programs we have that's state funded is called Senior Care. And Senior Care, you have to be financially eligible, you have to be functionally eligible, you have to be age eligible. So if somebody calls and say they're struggling with copay for a prescription, and that is the thing that's keeping them well, they're held together every other way, but they're $50 short on a prescription cost every month, and they need some help with that. And that's going to be the thing that we know is the investment. And having looked at all their finances, we know they truly don't have it anywhere. It's not because sometimes people will call and they'll say they don't have it, but then when you start to look, because we do look at bank statements, if you want assistance from us, we have to be able to see some verification of the need. And sometimes we look at bank statements, you're like, oh, well, there's a lot of other stuff going on here we need to look at and figure out how we can do something different. But if we really look at that and we see that that's the thing that person needs, Senior Care can help offset that cost. It can offset the cost for incontinence supplies, nutritional supplements, in-home services, respite services. It's a fabulous program that's been around for 35 to 40 years. There's never enough money to go around. There's always more need than we have funding. There's always a wait list. But we do pretty well with our wait list, and we work really hard to try and spread our money as far as it'll go, because we look at all the things. Like maybe you have a prescription cost need, but I can look at your energy cost over here and connect you with energy assistance and lower your cost over there, so this isn't such a big deal. Or I can connect you with a food pantry or a food delivery service that's going to bring your cost down so that lightens up the load somewhere else. When we make that commitment to people, that's like a subscription kind of thing for me. If I'm making that commitment to you that we're going to put you on that service, I don't want to pull the rug out from under you, because your caregivers, your loved ones are depending upon that support so that they can all together make sure that you have the safety net that you need. So we don't put people on these services lightly. It's kind of a commitment on an ongoing basis. Another program that's like that is called the Senior Assisted Living Subsidy. Does Medicare pay for assisted living? No, never. People call every day trying to figure out what assisted livings accept Medicare. There aren't any. The only assistance available is if you have long-term care insurance, which is cost prohibitive for a lot of people, for most people, or the Medicaid waiver, which is a long road to get on. So assisted living is very, very expensive, and if you need it, you need it. The subsidy program can provide up to $1,000 in change a month to offset the cost of an assisted living. An assisted living costs a lot more than that. This program is a great program, but it's kind of strange in terms of the way it's set up, because if you are eligible financially, it's probably not very likely that you can come up with the $3,000 you need to make up the difference in the cost of what an assisted living will cost. So most of the people that we're helping have another source, like a family member or a spouse or somebody who can, it's generally another family member who can help offset those costs. But this is a thing that helps us keep people out of nursing homes, because otherwise people who need assisted living are in the community without supports, just getting worse until they are in a nursing home. So this program is great because it's a stopgap to that. We work with both of these programs. We provide our services through partnership with local businesses, so it's a great thing for our local economy too, because we're able to support our senior serving businesses. We partner with assisted livings. They're all mostly small businesses, primarily minority owned, most of them in this area. So it's great that we can partner with them to provide this service, and our in-home services are all provided via contracts with local in-home healthcare agencies. What worries me about this program is that the state Maryland Department of Aging decided last year to combine these programs, and the implementation is supposed to happen July 1st, and we have absolutely no idea what the program is going to look like, and it makes me very concerned for the people that we have on services right now, because as I said, I feel like we have made a commitment to continue to support these people, and I don't have any idea what's really going to happen with this July 1st. So I am continuously making sure that the state knows that I'm concerned about this, and we have a network of people in my role in the county, in each county, who are also trying to make sure that they know we're concerned about this. So let's hope that nothing really changes and we can continue to provide these services. I'm looking at the clock. Some of the other things I want to mention to you, you see Medicaid waiver on your sheet. We do not provide the Medicaid waiver. What we do is we do the first step in the assessment process. It's an assessment we do online. It's an algorithm that applies a number to it. And that's really all we do with Medicaid. We do some case management for a small portion of people who are on Medicaid, but we don't provide Medicaid. We don't control who gets Medicaid. We don't control the registry or the application process. We just sort of get people on the electronic registry. We also provide counseling and education about Medicare. Medicare is not just serving 65 and better folks. We also serve a lot of younger folks because Medicare covers younger folks as well. We do education online in the community. Open enrollment season happens from October to December. We're very, very busy during that time helping to counsel and educate people so they make the right choice about their prescription drug plan. And you always need to check your plan. Don't rest on your laurels and think the plan you got is going to be the best one forever, because you do that and they're going to change the formulary and then your costs are going to go up and you're going to wonder what happened. And you won't know until you go to the pharmacy, and then you can't change your plan because you only get the one opportunity. And then we have a long-term care ombudsman program that also works with doing friendly visits to nursing homes and assisted living facilities, and also works to protect resident rights. She doesn't have any authority to cite or remove a license from a facility, but she does go out to try and advocate and make sure that facilities are serving the people that they are paid to serve and serving them well. And then I talked last time about our guardianship program. You've heard of children becoming a ward of the state. The same thing happens with older adults. If you are 65 or older in the state of Maryland and you are found by two physicians and adjudicated by the courthouse, by the judges, that you're not competent to make your own decisions, then, and you don't have a family member who can advocate for you or make your decisions, you become a ward of the Harford County Office on Aging, and we become your professional daughters. But you have somebody else who will be assigned to manage your funds. This is why, look, I'm going to tell you, I put my staff down against anybody. I think we do a phenomenal job of caring for our wards. We have about 50 of them. I have 3 case managers who do this work on top of other things. You, as good as we are, you don't want us to be your guardian. You want to make sure you plan appropriately. This is not just a thing that happens to low-income people. We've had people with a lot of money in the bank that end up in guardianship. So it is really important to make sure you do your advanced planning and you know who is your decision maker and they know what your wishes are. Because, you know, as good as we are, it's not as good as somebody who's known what your wishes are your whole life, or at least in the last few years of your life. And it's not hard to do planning. We just don't like to think about our own mortality. It's hard to think about. So I ran through a lot of stuff. Any other questions? Oh, questions.
They
Yes.
do take Social Security. Assisted living places take Social Security.
Well, yes, it's a form of payment, but
Yes,
it's not a
it's
form of
payment.
insurance. Yeah.
It's not insurance.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm on the board for the Joppatowne Rec Council. We have a loan closet like you do. There are times when our loan closet is overflowing. Is there times that you need things? Would you accept stuff when we're overflowing?
We are overflowing most of the time too. We tend to refer to the Lions Club, or Maryland has a statewide loan closet, a durable medical equipment program. If you give me your information, I can send you the link to that, because sometimes there's a drop off locally and you can take stuff there and they'll come and get it if they need it. But most of the time, we have way more than we need. Occasionally I'll get a request for something like a motorized scooter or a motorized wheelchair that we may not have, but it'd be good to have your information so that, you know, and you to have mine, so that if something comes up, we can connect, and so it's a great resource to have.
Do you trade off with the Maryland, either one of you, the Maryland, Center for Independent Living? Cause they have a closet and they generally need, if you have overflow, them and the Maryland Disabilities Administration.
They mostly, if they have a need, go directly to the state DME closet, because they have such a vast variety of things, and sometimes that population needs very specialized equipment, because we're, a lot of times the Center for Independent Living are dealing with people that have lifelong physical disabilities, or maybe have had an accident, so they need a different level of equipment than we mostly tend to have. But the DME state closet is a wonderful program, and they don't charge, and you can get what you need, and it's serviced, and I think they even have occupational therapies that'll help set it up for you, like ensure that it's the right height, or the brakes are working right, or whatever, so.
Yeah, them and volunteers from medical engineering.
Yeah.
Okay. She has another question over here too.
Oh, okay.
In addition to the DME, do they offer a place where you can provide supplies? So sometimes that are unopened supplies.
Yes, we do take those.
Okay.
I mean, especially incontinence supplies,
Yes,
big,
things like
huge expense for people. So yes, it's certainly incontinence supplies, and some nutritional supplements we can take if they're not opened.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you still have those large fairs?
We had COVID did a number on that. We brought them back. Last year we did a resource fair, health fair at every one of the senior centers. We don't have anything planned this quarter. We've been doing a lot of different wellness stuff in the community on a smaller scale, but taking it directly to senior housing locations and into the community instead of doing a broader program. But it's more of a thing we do like every other year now. We do work with the Geriatric Assistance and Information Network to support their annual caregiver conference, though, and that'll be April, I want to say 27th, whatever that Saturday is in that week. That will be at the McFall Center.
I'm just gonna ask, how does one become part of your referral program, like a business or institution? Is that a question like in Harford County?
It depends on what your services are and what you're offering. We try to make sure we're pretty aware of what is in the community. I think one of the best resources, again, is the Geriatric Assistance and Information Network, because they are a group of for-profit providers, and also they have some community-based organizations and government-based organizations that participate, but it's a wonderful networking opportunity, and they do a lot to promote the senior serving business community. They meet on the second Friday of each month at 8:30 at Avondale. But if you go to Hartford Gain, you can see their meeting schedule. I think they're at Avondale now. They used to be at the AUMC. But I think it's Avondale now, or Breakview, one of those places. But go to their website, Hartford Game.
Thank you.
Membership, you can go to like 3 meetings before you have to join.
You have another question?
Yes.
Could you tell me about the progress on the Aberdeen Senior Center?
I really can't. I really can't. I wish I could. I'm not really sure what's happening. I know that there were plans for a community center. I'm not really sure what's happening with that, but maybe Rob could get somebody to come and talk about that. I'm not very involved in that.
It's moving ahead. There was an issue with the road, and they've resolved that. And the last cabinet meeting, they spoke to it, and it is moving ahead.
Okay. I do know that my understanding is that it won't be a senior center in the sense that the other senior locations are, but that doesn't mean that there wouldn't be senior programming. It just, I'm not anticipating having staff there right
And we
now.
have a question from somebody online.
Yeah, somebody online asked, will you bring activities to senior apartments? The apartments that...
We do.
Okay.
We are, our primary focus is on subsidized senior housing, But we are in, I think, 12 or 13 different senior apartments. I know that we're in Windsor, we're in Marion Village, we're in Hartford Senior, in Parkview Bel Air, Parkview Abingdon, Catholic Charities, St. John's. We do at least 2 programs every month in all those locations. One is generally like a health promotion presentation, and then the other one is more like a physical activity. We are also offering evidence-based fitness programs in a lot of these locations. We just did Christmas parties at all of them. We were everywhere. We looked at so much pasta, it was insane. But so we are in pretty much every location. If they're at a location and if they want to tell me where it is, I can let them know if we're there or not.
This one, well, you know what? I don't know if I should announce it online.
Okay,
I know, but I'll tell you later.
We can talk.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's something we started 2 years ago when we were out for COVID. We went to all the locations and did vaccinations in senior housing. And one of the things that struck us is we just always thought everybody would come to a senior center, like go to the center and take classes, but we realized a lot of folks aren't leaving their immediate community because of ambulation issues, transportation issues, and sometimes just because you're afraid to try something new. Also, we have a lot of folks that struggle with, they really want to protect their independence, and so they're more likely just to kind of stay in their own backyard. So we decided to take programs to them because, again, if they start to have health issues, they're not going to be able to afford assisted living. So we created a wellness team, and we're out very, very, very frequently in the community doing programming, and we're seeing they're big wins to me. And we have people who are no longer on oxygen, or their blood pressure medication has been lowered, or their insulin medication has been lowered, or they've lost 30 pounds. So those are great things that we're able to accomplish in these buildings by being out there.
Do you have like a place online that I could send a link to this person, or?
Probably just better to have them call Andrea
Okay.
at the 410-638-3025 number. She runs that program.
Thank you.
Okay, Karen, thank you
All
so
right,
much.
thank you so much. Everybody be safe and home tonight.
Yeah,
Stay
you do
warm.
as well. Thank
Always
you.
happy to come visit you guys. So see you next time.
Thank you. Cynthia, you're up.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia Lynch from Hartford County Council, Office of the President. We have a meeting, a legislative meeting tomorrow, and we also have a bond meeting, a special legislative meeting at 2 o'clock, all in the council chambers. The council plans to introduce the county executive's budget in April, at April 14th, at a council meeting. And then we'll begin the work session starting on Thursday, April 23rd. The work sessions will provide an opportunity for every department and agency that receives county funding to present and discuss their budget with the council members and their citizen budget advisors. Following these work sessions, the council will hold 2 public hearings on May 7th and 13th, where the public is invited to speak on their budget priorities. These council work sessions will be open to the public for viewing and available through live audio streaming on the council's webpage. The public hearings will be open to the public also and will be on live video and auto streamed on the website as well. A reminder of these meetings will be in our April newsletter.
Thank you, Cynthia.
You're welcome.
Mr. Wagner, you want to know on?
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Did you get me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, that was unusual. It came from.
Well, what did everybody think of the snow?
Oh, we love it. Just
Good.
Snow was fine, it's the ice.
It was the ice, that's exactly right.
Nice.
And that was the problem, because it came down so quick when the snow started to wrap up, and that's what gave everybody a fit. I mean, I don't think anybody was exempt from that. County snowplows had a fit with it as well. They did the best they could. They had all the crews out, working round the clock, trying to get things cleared. So, give them credit for what they did do, because it was hazardous to get it done, and they did work hard to get it accomplished. And if you see any spots that are related to this snow event or ice, as we get some melting during the daytime hours, you can go on the website for the Hartford County government and go to You Click We Fix. they will come out and resalt or probably not replow unless there's an issue. What do you got,
And that's
Ron?
what I was gonna ask. It seems like they stopped a little bit too soon. According to everything we've heard, you know, they were gonna get the main roads open first, which I
Right,
agree, if they
right.
get that done, get them clear. But they never really came back and did curb to curb. A good example is Tollgate Road. I traveled from 24 up to Route 1.
Right.
Okay, it is not curb to curb, number one. Number two, there is not one fire hydrant that's not iced over all the way up and down. I go up there to the doctor's appointment and I've seen every single one, and I can't even shovel it because it's ice now. You need
Right.
like a pick or something. But every fire hydrant is iced over all up and down Tollgate Road, and that's just one road. And
Right.
that's the county, there's other county roads, like in my neighborhood too, that are the same way, Constant Friendship, that are county roads and not private roads. It's the same way.
And I think, you know as well as I do, they were trying to get the main roads cleared best they could. I saw them back out today, county and state as well, with some loaders and also with some plows up against the shoulders and trying to get things cleared away, because there's plenty of intersections. They also went through and created walls and didn't come back and fix them. I don't know what they're doing moving ahead, but they were out today. I saw them down this way, saw them up towards Bel Air, so they were out trying to accomplish a little bit better work on the road. So, but if you see something that really is a hazardous issue, go to the website and use that.
The roundabout's the same way. You can barely get around the car, and it seems like they just went around it, but they're not widening it enough, you know, where it should be, where vehicles can, they'll say, everything I've seen, half the people are driving on the roundabout itself because they didn't move the snow enough. So just something that I'm putting out there that
Right.
I was really disappointed this time this year.
It was,
Other than
it was
that,
a tough snow to move and try
It
to get
is.
rid of too.
Well,
Leon?
my compliments on, I think they did a great job when you consider what they had to do.
Overall, yeah, they
I mean, I know
absolutely
what I
did.
had to do in my own driveway, and it's still.
Well, I've
Still
seen,
down for 3
I've
days.
seen some cars down here that are iced in that I don't think they're gonna get them out until probably July.
But what I wanted to call your attention to is like down in our cul-de-sac, and I'm sure it's all over. The problem is right now, and it'll happen like, it'll start tomorrow because it's supposed to be close to 40 tomorrow, so we're gonna get some melting. And now all that's gonna go in the street, and the problem is, we've got 4 right in one drain, the only drain we got in our cul-de-sac. It's got 5 foot of snow on it. The water has got no place to go. It's gonna be in the streets all over the place, and the drains all over are packed with 4 or 5 foot of snow. So you might tell somebody, they gotta get to these drains, and we're gonna have some huge floods, not only floods, then it freezes overnight, and then we're gonna have roads all full of ice.
Right, okay. And like I said, when you find places that are a lot of water and a little icing over and that kind of thing, don't be bashful, contact the county.
What's that site again?
It will be the Hartford County website, hartfordcountymaryland.gov, and it's you click, we fix.
You can also download it, it's an app.
You click?
You click, we
Click it,
fix.
We fix.
I've seen it.
Mr. Rowe.
Pictures help with that.
Let him go finish whatever report he has, and then we can do some questions.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, that's it for the snow side. Hartford County did retain its AAA bond rating in 2026. Hartford County is among less than 2% of the counties nationwide to earn the highest possible credit rating as we did. And credit ratings, if you don't know, they matter a lot because they save taxpayer money by lowering our cost of borrowing to fund public safety, school facilities, roads, bridges, and other vital infrastructure. We can get some tremendous rates by that AAA bond rating that we have. There will be a virtual town hall on community investments. That's the Community Reinvestment and Repair Fund money, the CRRF, which was the marijuana money. A virtual town hall will be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Wednesday, February the 18th, 2026. It will provide residents and community organizations an overview of how the money and grant funds are being used to support community-based initiatives across Hartford County. We do, I forget how much we got, it was a large amount of money, and we're spending it in some places where it's gonna subsidize a lot of programs that we didn't have money for otherwise. Some of the recreation money will be accomplished through this CRRF funding. There's gonna be some winter festivals coming up in Haverty Grace, the Ice Festival will be there. The State of the County address, did anybody watch that earlier? If they didn't, that was the fourth State of the County address by County Executive Casserly, and that is out there on the Hartford County website. If you go there, you can see how that State of the County address went that evening. The Joppa Rec Fields and Joppatowne Community Center, the site concept plan was approved, and we've got four, I'll show you a schematic that I've got with me tonight. We got a fourth smaller field added in. There's parking and ADA paths as well planned for it. Lake Serene Trails resurfacing and leveling will be going out to bid February 26th. The Joppa Dog Park and Yard Drop-Off Site, the concept plan has been approved. Southern County Task Force Area Homeowner Rehabilitation Program, there's $100,000 that will be in that program, and we're developing the criteria for applicants to apply for upgrades to their homes. Probably it'll be capped at $10,000, and it's still in the process of being developed for what we're going to put out there, because you know $10,000 can go quick on a project, but maybe some roofs, some siding, some windows. It's something that's in the works right now because we just got the money approved from the state. $350,000 was received for the Edgewater Village Shopping Center improvements. We are working on a bus shelter at the library on Edgewood Road, and also working on a bus shelter at the Hartford Square at probably the existing stop that's there across from the clubhouse. The speed bump with a pedestrian safety island is also coming to Hartford Square. And at Joppa Farm Road and Trimble Road, there's going to be some work done there early 2026. It's a new traffic signal put there, and a sidewalk and ramp upgrades will be done at that. And we will update you to let you know how traffic will be disturbed during that construction period. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Just wanted to give you a lot of credit. The warming shelter at the senior center, I just can't thank you enough. You got everybody in. Not a single person had to be outside. County employees were there overnight, every night.
Every night.
Definitely would like to work to make that more sustainable and give you guys the help that you rightly deserve so that you can send some of those volunteers home. Big shout out to Len Basha for leading that project. Just wanted to make sure that you got your dues for it, so thank you.
I appreciate that, and some of the, all the volunteers that were there as well, because we certainly couldn't have done it without volunteers. It did go well, and I forget the number, we got several people into a little better housing situation from that experience right there. So that's a plus. So, you know, you not only kept them warm during the cold time, you kept them from freezing, and then you got them a little extra help and in a program that they wouldn't have gotten into otherwise.
Yeah.
So it was a win-win all the way through. So
Loved it. Thank you.
I'll pass that along. Thank you.
Rob, we had a question over here, and then Ralph.
Okay.
So I have two questions. Are there any talks about the dog park in Edgewood?
Not that I am
It's
aware
Plecker property.
right
It's
now.
Former Plecker property on map 7.
It's on Route 7.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where that was gonna be.
Okay, and then who can I reach out to if I have Edgewood community safety concerns?
Depends on what concerns they are.
Watergate.
Excuse me?
So off of Watergate,
Okay,
Second Watergate Association.
right. I'll give you a card. Contact me, okay?
Go ahead, Bill.
I was just gonna say, not really building off of Adams, but another compliment. The morning after the snow stopped and the ice was there, up the road on Old Sound, there was a water main break. And we walk at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we were out walking, and those guys in that bitter cold, through that snow, were digging a hole and fixing that water main break. I mean, they were on it. I was like, what the hell? They gotta be out of their minds. Getting in that hole. It was so flipping cold, right? I'm talking 4 degrees outside. And as they were pumping the water out, it was freezing in the road, and they fixed that water main break, got it all patched up, put back together. Really, really nice job, I was impressed.
We're pretty proud of the DPW staff. They are committed and dedicated, and they do a great job to get everybody back into the service they've lost, so I'll pass that along to them.
I know a lot of us are doing a whole bunch of complaining, but you're right, with this ice and stuff,
Mhm.
anybody that's out there, you know, even the snowplow people, you know, you can't shovel this ice. I mean, I was out there trying to do my driveway with an ice pick. You can't shovel this stuff, so I give credit to anybody. I mean, I'm trying to get in and out of my driveway, and I mean, I'm by myself doing that, and yeah, it's, my daughter went in the shed and found one. It has an ice pick and then like a blade on the other side so that I'm able to chop little pieces of my driveway to get out. So, you know, then there's no place to put this stuff. You look at the corner of Shore Drive, that mound on the corner by Marlene's house, and where are they gonna put this? I mean, they mound it up, but there's no place to take this stuff, it's so high, and it's nothing but chunks of ice. So you're right, I give credit to these people that are out there doing their best to help us, but,
Just lucky we didn't get a snow on top of it.
oh, I know, I
will
was
now.
watching the sleet,
It's
thinking the sleet is never gonna stop, it was just going on for hours, and I
Right.
thought this, yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Two quick questions. First of all, that work that's gonna be done at Joppa Farm and Trimble Road, when did you say that was gonna be?
It is,
Early 26.
26, yes, early
Just
26.
Early 26.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand budgets and everything else like that. But is there anything the county can do about getting hold of some of the equipment that they use down at the airport, particularly those burner things where they have the trucks that they'll park over the drains
Right.
and bring the scoop loaders there so they just melt it? Not only does it keep the drain clear, but it also alleviates the fact having to find a place.
I got a feeling they're not gonna let them get away from them down there. We can't borrow them because they're waiting on something else to hit too. So I can ask, but I doubt if they're gonna be available.
Well, maybe long-term, the county might start looking down the road and see, hey, will we have enough scratch to get our own?
I'll check. You might be shocked at how much they'd be too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I just go, excuse me, so Route 40 by the Wendy's, by Epic Center.
Right.
We tried to go to church, Sunday. It's turned into almost like a one lane going and coming. So on the Wendy's side, their snow is still in the street. And that's already like a.
Are you there at the light? Is that where
Yeah.
you're at?
Yeah.
They were in there today.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they were there
Wonderful.
today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead, hang on a minute, go ahead. Yeah,
I just wanted to give another testament to the Click It. Someone else was asking about it. It really works. We had a bit of a mess at first Harper Square, but we used the Click It. Harper County came down, DPW came at different times, not DPW, but different people would come down because we also had cars that hit other cars, so the police were there. We were pushing out cars, but Harper County came several times to clear our roads, which was so appreciative by using the Click It, uploading the pictures and things. It's never exactly when you need it, but it gets done, because you have to do, you have to service everyone, and we understand that, but it worked, and we're just really thankful, not only just DPW, the system, whoever's managing the system to get the tickets out timely is also important, as well as the police came to help us a lot too. So just another thank you to the teams who helped through this storm.
Thank you.
okay. All right, Rob, thank you.
I think
Go
one
ahead.
more.
Legislature's got a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to know when the town hall was gonna be, I did not grab that.
That town hall for the CRRF money is
February
18th, wasn't it?
I got everything
18th
else with that date.
From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It was virtual.
Probably find it on the.
Yeah, go to the Hartford
hartford.gov.
County website, yeah.
Find the link.
It was in a newsletter that came out.
Okay, Thank you, Rob.
Okay, thank you guys.
Mr. Rob, I have one question.
Okay.
When is there going to be another Southern County Task Force meeting? Because we haven't had one since last June. We didn't have one in the fall. We usually have had at least
I
2 a
will
year.
Ask one day next week when I meet the county executive and see what he wants to do on it.
Tell him to do it warms up.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Not now.
Not now.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you guys.
All right, Ron, you're up.
On the clock.
This is my favorite.
They way past the time, good nothing.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody.
That's hard.
First of all, you remember last month I came in here and I talked about those power strips and what not to plug into them, what plug into them. I think I sent you an email. The day after we left here, there was a fire in a garage with a heater plugged into a power strip. The power strip was the cause of the fire. $575,000 damage to the home in Harper County. So just, you know, I went back and went through some old stuff I got. Some flyers back there. Electrical safety. Okay, we're getting a lot of electrical fires lately. I don't know why. Maybe the infrastructure's getting old or whatever, but we're getting a lot of electrical fires. Make sure the wires aren't frayed. If you got a plug in the wall like that, you put your plug and your plug sort of falls out of it, it needs to be replaced. Okay? Bottom line, this needs to be replaced if your plug's falling out of that outlet. That's what's causing a lot of fires.
You have to replace the outlet,
What?
not the extension cord.
Right, oh yeah, the outlet has to be replaced, exactly. Exactly, it's not usually the plug. I also brought this one back in, on fire safety for older adults and caregivers. We're getting, I'm gonna say about 75% of our calls are falls from elderly. And again, of course, the ice isn't helping any, and the snow and the ice, we talk about it till we're dead in the face. But, you know, we gotta be careful, you gotta walk like a penguin, basically, to be careful. And I've fallen already, I know my neighbors have, but we're getting a lot of calls with more serious injury, people falling, hitting their head, things like that. So there's information back there about fire safety for them. The other one was fire safety during winter storms. I brought that out in December before we had any. We've had one now. We've got, unfortunately, probably a couple more on the way, and then hopefully spring will decide to come in. So there's some information back there on what to do, what not to do. The other thing I want to talk about is escape planning. Make sure you work with your family about getting out of your house and at least 2 ways out of every room of your house. And like I told you before, if you're stuck in the house and you're in your bedroom, you're probably safe there closing the door, put a blanket on the floor to stop the smoke from coming in, stay by a window, hang a sheet or something out the window, close the window, stay by that window. We get there, we see that sheet hanging out the window, we know we have a rescue. That's our first priority. Okay, the first engine or the chief, whoever gets there first is gonna do a 360. They're gonna walk around the building. No matter how long, how big it is, they're gonna walk around. They're gonna look for where smoke's coming from. We see a sheet hanging out the window, we know somebody's in trouble, we've gotta get them out. The other problem was, we had a couple of fires recently. We had one on Albintown Way the other night. Started out as a chimney fire. The chimney cracked, and basically what's causing these people are asking, why we have so many chimney fires. They're not getting your chimney cleaned by professionals. It's not being cleaned. There's soot and stuff built up in there. You put a nice fire in there, and the soot starts catching fire. Then your chimney cracks. We had basically Avenue, Joppa, APG, Bel Air, Fawcett on this chimney fire that eventually spread through the whole house. Once the chimney top of the chimney actually collapsed, and then it spread through the whole house. That was the one on Albintown Way a couple of days ago. We had one on Philadelphia Road down here in Joppa. Turned out the fire was behind the wall. The people that heard some crackling didn't know what it was. Of course, they called 911. They came out. There was a fire in the wall. I think I told you about that last month. We talked about the Navy fires in the wall, things like that. That wound up being about another $100,000 damage. They think it was a shortened electrical cord there. There was another one out in Powellsville, and this one was one the people were woken up by, again, crackling, hearing some odd sounds at night. The house was quiet. Come to find out, there was another fire in the wall. Shortage in wiring up there. So, you got to be careful and let your instincts tell you, if you hear something like that. We had one on Flintlock Drive back in December. I don't remember if I talked about it last month or not. But it was basically discovered by a passerby. It was actually DPW worker, passed by just looking at Christmas lights, happened to see a fire, what looked like a fire through the window, called it in, sure enough, there was a fire in the house. Neighbors broke in the back door, people were away at that time, and they weren't able to save the pets, but they did, manage to report the fire. And there was another one up in Cecil County that I didn't want to talk about, garage fire. This was caused by a faulty freezer, apparently. That's what they're saying. Fire marshal's saying it was a faulty freezer. Good news about this is the house was sprinklered, had smoke alarms. The smoke alarms worked people up, the sprinklers went off. It did save a lot of the house, but there's still over $300,000 damage to the house. And this is from the freezer that was plugged in. And a lot of people have the extra freezer, refrigerator that you keep in your garage. And again, don't know why these things short out. So, you gotta be careful what we're doing. Again, think about these things when you're going around. Last thing to talk about is this hoarding. And this has created a lot of problems. We've had a couple of fires, and I'm not gonna say where they were, but where firefighters had trouble fighting the fire because of hoarding in the house. If you look at the picture, and you go look at it, it's basically boxes and magazines and stuff, just all over the place. No rhyme or reason. We can't get in, we can't get to where we have to get to, we can't get in to rescue somebody. If you know anybody that's living in those kind of conditions, call the fire marshal's office and report it. If you don't want to report it, give me some pictures, I'll send them to the fire marshal's office. Okay, I've done it before. You know, we had an apartment in Bel Air where the lady was concerned, the neighbor was concerned, because the lady, they could barely open the door, and the lady next door could happen to see it, you know, when she was coming out and saw how bad it looked, and she was worried. There was a fire, now how then we can get her and get the lady? So of course, we did, and the fire marshal takes care of those things. It is illegal to be hoarded like that. I mean, and some people just get that way. Unfortunately, we start collecting stuff and collecting, and the next thing you know, it starts piling up.
So what's the fire marshal do? Go in and clean up?
Lights a fire.
Permit shit.
Gotta stay in business somehow.
And they will go knock on the door and say, we've had a complaint, at the health and welfare check that they initially go in as, but they can cite the person for being unhealthy, and then they bring in the health department. It's like a.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you watch any of these shows and these sorting shows, a lot of these people have mental illness.
Yeah, a lot of them do, you're exactly right, and a lot of it is that, I get you saying. But yeah, the fire marshal's office, it's one of the things we're gonna talk about. We have a seminar coming up next month, that's gonna be one of the things we're actually gonna be talking about too. And also, there's a new program coming out, I don't have it yet, we're talking about lithium-ion batteries, how dangerous they are. There's a whole new protocol coming out for lithium-ion batteries, and how to dispose of them, what to do. Yes.
Are there any resources, besides the fire marshal to helping an individual that's a hoarder?
Health and Human Services, up in Bel Air, Health and Human Services, I think it's called, or the health department up there in Bel Air, and probably, I think, where's the lady from the senior center?
She left.
Okay. I think there's called the senior center, one of the programs on it or something, that can help with that too. But I mean, get them some help. I mean, it doesn't have to be the fire marshal. If you get a family member that says, hey, you know, this might not be safe, you know, let's
The
do
problem
something.
is the psychological behind it.
Right.
Well, it is. There is.
So I have.
A lot of it can be a mental thing, you know, and they don't realize it until something happens. And then, of course, sometimes it's too
We have
late.
a neighbor
We know, we've all seen it happen.
We try to help, but.
Right, they don't think they're hoarders, and they don't want, some of them get very agitated.
Okay,
That's
I'm making some points. All right, fire marshal shows up, knocks on the door. Person tells the fire marshal, take a long walk off a short pier, you're not coming in.
Okay.
What happens at that point?
Okay, that's a legal matter. I'm not a legal person.
Okay.
Okay.
I will tell you, if you watch any of these programs, what happens then is that they report it to the city.
Right.
And then the city will send somebody out, and if it's a code, violation, then the city will get involved.
But if the person won't allow the people in the house, they don't have the legal right to barge in there.
No, not at that point.
But that's what I'm saying, then they turn around and report it to the city, and the city will send someone out, and at that point, they normally have the legal right to be able to go into the property.
Okay, that's the city, but that's not the county.
Well, the county and others.
Well, it's
the
county,
towns,
city,
yeah.
whatever.
But again, it becomes a legal matter at that point. They might have to get a search, a warrant, or, I'm not sure
there's a
what that's called.
process.
I'm not a legal person, okay?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I was in law enforcement, so I didn't wanna begin to tell you what they do now, but it can be, oh, you're right. You can't just go knock the door and see it and discharge it, they cannot do that.
Right.
However, like I said, there are ways to go around it, reporting it to the city,
That's
county,
nice.
the different towns, town people,
Believe
and
me,
they
it's
can
more
come in.
difficult than you have any imagine. I got somebody right next door to me. We've been fighting it for 20 years, and we haven't got him out of there. And you know, we finally got him in there to be able to get raided by the police and all. We said, oh, we have a smell there. We think there's a dead body in there. They came, and then they could go in. I'm giving you some hints.
That's pretty much all I had.
One at a time, otherwise we can't hear everybody.
So with all of the safety, when it comes down to dryers in the home, do you have any advice on that? How often should they be cleaned so that doesn't catch fire?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's one thing that I haven't talked about in a while. And I've seen some places that have had there's a little filter in your dryer for your clothes. That should be empty every single time.
Absolutely.
Not every other time, not when you want to, every time. I do mine every time somebody vacuum, I'll take it, put hot water on it, wash through it. The reason why, if you use sometimes using dryer sheets, you sometimes leave a film on that screen. And the air can't flow through properly. So I take mine, run the hot soapy water, let it dry out before I put it back in. The little flue, however long it is that goes outside, should be cleaned probably at least once a year. At least get somebody to check it. Okay, there's enough companies around that can come out, check it, take it off. I mean, it's not hard to do, but get somebody to check it, because a lot of the dust will build up in the flue, and that can also cause it. That has caused a couple fires this summer, but not really this winter yet. With that, but that's a good question. I've got some information. I remember next month I'll bring it in. Dryer fires are quite heavy right now. This time, especially you don't think about, especially when you're clothes, you got towels and stuff. And things that they create a lot of lint, believe it or not, in the dryer. Clean them out every single time.
I was gonna ask you, well, wasn't really a question, but to thank Mr. Jim's people, because the ambulance had to come and take me and doggy to the hospital, because they checked me for brain bleeds and stuff. And in the snow and the ice coming down, they were very, very, they were very, very
I did see
effective.
that, yeah. And those of you asking about Jim Lyons, he is out of rehab.
Oh, good.
He's back living in an extended stay hotel up in Belcan. Don't feel sorry, they're very happy. They don't want to go to a nursing home. They don't want to go to assisted living. Where they are is while he was in rehab, it's been completely remodeled, painted. It's a new carpeting, floors, furniture, everything's there. They got a nice little kitchen. They're safe in there. The doors lock at night. Those who went up there and visited him up in there, he said, thank you. You did get quite a few cards, he told me. I saw a couple of them. And I recognize a few names, but not all of them, while he was in the rehab center. But when he can get out, he will come out. He's pretty much in a wheelchair now to get around, unfortunately. He doesn't like it. You all know Jim, he's gonna find a way to get out of it at some point. But I told him, I think you're not coming out in this kind of weather. I said, if you come out, I'm gonna drag your ass back there. Seriously, I told him with my friends, but yeah, and his son is telling him the same thing. This kind of weather is not the kind of weather for him to be out. You know, that would either want to walk or something like that. And with a cane, if you feel comfortable, that's fine. But he's doing well. I talk to him almost every night. Main reason I take notes is he wants to know what happened and wants to know how everybody is. And of course, I tell him everybody asks about him. The same thing with my cat meeting was on the second Thursday of the month, and now he asks what happened there. We've got another speaker coming. So anyway, long story short, he's doing well. Thank you for all the support and the prayers and stuff for Jim. Hopefully he'll get better as things warm up. Thank you.
Tell me that.
What's Jim's last name?
Oh.
Lyons. L-Y-O-N-S.
L-Y-O-N-S.
Lyons.
All right, you're on the clock.
Thank you.
Yeah, because if we move along, we might get done by 8:30.
Okay, I'll talk really, really fast.
I just don't cover a lot of stuff.
Okay, I can cover the most important things. Just a couple things. I attended on January 7th, the Hartford Microtransit Study stakeholder meeting. That looks like it's going well. It just seems like it's down to needing funding at this point, when it's ready to be launched. It's gonna be a great project. I did attend Coffee with Women's Commission. They're trying to do more outreach to women in the community and giving some more resources. They're even considering doing a resource fair, just kind of educating women on all different things, including how to dress for job interviews, all those things. I did hear from Claudine with MDOT on January 7th as well. She told me that the Route 40 drains, the maintenance team had completed the drains, but they are going to return in the spring and conduct a more comprehensive effort. In regards to the Joppa Farm, Alexis Drive, and Maryland Route 7, the traffic engineers are going to review. They're going to do a study for approximately 60 days, after which they will receive a formal response, and they will provide that to me, outlining the findings, next steps, and if they're able to do a 4-way stop sign there. That is what I said would probably be the cheapest methodology. I don't think a circle is going to fit there, and I know Jeff brought up that.
What intersection is this?
The Route 7, Joppa Farm, Alexis Drive, right now, with the way it's set up, yeah.
And it's got that bridge right there.
It's got the bridge, people shoot out, people can't see, and then that deadly accident happened, so they're really now looking at that, to see what they can do financially for that.
No, if they can put a stop sign on Route 7 though.
That's what they're trying to see, if they can put a stop sign, a circle, if that would fit, or.
Well, they've got that vacant property that.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yeah.
stop signs on the outside.
Yeah,
No further.
I think further down.
Or red light.
Yeah.
Yeah, red light.
They need something to kind of, like a slow down kind of a thing. So they said they'd get back, and that was on the 7th, so hopefully we'll hear something in the spring. They did say for the design of the new sidewalk along Maryland 755 from Maryland 24 Emerton Road to US 40, that is in process. They said the Office of Highway Development is currently working to secure an agreement with the Federal Highway for the federal project participation. They believe early 2026 we should have some sort of agreement in place with the design, etc. I did meet on January 16th with Mr. Peters of Cordish and with Raj. I did tell Mr. Peters that people were not thrilled with Cordish not giving back. And he said he will try to work on that aspect of that. I said, well, true, they have a lot of money, and so if they can give back, that'd be great. He did say, what did he say? They're looking at a lighted walkway coming in the spring when the weather breaks, that sidewalk that connects the shopping center with the community. And he'll begin that process when it breaks. He says he needs to look at this as a not-for-profit idea. So I guess he's going to give back in that regards. He is, we looked at the training center, the wrestling center, and and it's interesting because I had the same thought, he had the same thought. Now we just have to see if the owners of that building and the wrestling and all have the same thought. But he wants to turn it into an entertainment center, in which that they can have bands. He's spoken to Magooby's Joke House apparently, which I didn't know. He didn't know. Raj and I already knew what that was about. And trying to get more things in there so it gives back to the community, because the wrestling only happens so much. Yeah. He mentioned more of the boxing in there. So he's trying to, I said it'd be great if you could make it something that is available for families to be able to enter and go into. And he's even talking about, he even has a design plan of its fitting, I think he said 1,800 seats. is what he's looking at in kind of a circular arena style way. So, and then having vendor spaces, food, etc. involved. So he's gonna get back to me on that and filling that spot. He said the Amish wanna add a butchery into the market. Redners is having a concern about that, but they're trying to explain to Redners that it's different, you know, it's coming from the farmers versus coming from Redners, so, that's his conversation he's been having with them on that. The trampoline park thing, Raj it's like crickets, we can't figure out. I drive by, I did see they put paint on the windows, that means they're doing something, I'm thinking, but I drove by one time and the door was cracked and I went in and there's nothing. So we thought it was gonna happen, by the end of first quarter, but we don't think that's happening by the end of first quarter. 7 Brew, we're just waiting for them to pull their permits. They haven't filed them yet, but it's still coming, with the projected date of spring. They already know what they're gonna come against as far as permits and what they need and what they don't need based on Abingdon. However, luckily, we are not gonna look like Abingdon because of where we're putting it, so, cause that's still a hot mess over there. He wants to upgrade LED lighting and camera system in all the parking lots, so we should be seeing that as well. And then we were talking about all the local businesses that Raj has been talking to and Mr. Peters, and they're trying to see who wants to come in. Possibility of Chipotle's, TJ Maxx, we've heard a couple different things that want to take into light in there. Still looking to fill Rite Aid. Nobody wants it, is my understanding. However, Patient First would like to move on somewhere on Route 40. If so, that would probably be that Shoe City pad site area. I'm praying for that because at least if I'm gonna Rite Aid or another, you know, if we can't get another pharmacy, we can get them in here, and they're really excited. Mr. Cordish was gonna, Peters was gonna work on that with Cordish, to see if we can get that in. Then I met with a group, they don't have their flyers, they were supposed to give Debbie the flyers, so we'll bring them next time. They're called Parents Place of Maryland, and we met with them, Crystal and Alexis. They support families with children facing disabilities, special health care needs, behavioral health challenges. They give peer support, educational resources, and virtual support groups. They go to IEP meetings with parents. They hold their hands during medical appointments and anything that is needed for support. They go in and help them. They do virtual groups for parenting, for mental health, for substance abuse, etc. So we'll bring the brochures next time because they had a lot going on with them. And then myself and Councilwoman Imhoff met with Addictions Connections resource. They have a great website coming out that's going to be great for all families who are facing addiction, but also for those family members who want answers because their family member is an addict or going through another bout of maybe they've went through rehab but then fell off the wagon, and how do they deal with that, and so it's going to be great. I told them to add some for youth, and so they're looking at the website to add for youth because I'm like, there's a lot of young kids out there using drugs and self-medicating, so, and help parents understand how to work with that too. So they said they would do that as well, and we'll let you know when that resource gets out and about. And then we did do a grand opening at the Arrow Center for Education at the New Mountain Road location. Beautiful school, beautiful. They're almost full if they're not full already. And it looks like they're gonna have their lower level grades at the Mountain Road campus and continue with Trinity for the upper level. And still, I believe, taking referrals as we speak. And then I'm gonna end with finally, I was appointed to, they decided to have a Conowingo Dam Advisory Board to look at more of the sediment and all the issues that are surrounding that float down to us and float down to Cecil. So I was appointed to the board. Our first meeting will be with the MDE to discuss Conowingo sediment, water quality implementation, and other related matters. The date is to be determined, but if you have any concerns, just shoot me an email, and I that's why, so that I can get any questions for them.
We forgot one. No, she always talks about stuff with Humane Society, February the 28th, the pet vaccination plan.
I was trying to make it quick. I do have it in my newsletter, which I put back there because Debbie wasn't with me today.
When you met with John Peters, did you guys talk anything about leasing the property behind the Joppa Grand Market to connect the park?
He wants, yeah, he wants to do something. He was all over the place with some of the stuff because he mentioned the senior center in the shopping center, and I was a little confused because he was talking about it within the middle of the store. So I think he was trying to put it behind the market, is what he initially told me before.
That belongs to Maria.
So yes, I mean, so he had agreed and talked to us about, there's evidently a piece of property that a playground's on in the Edgewood Shopping Center up here, that Cordish leases back to the county for like $1 a year. Cordish also owns, I think it's 25 acres behind the market and behind the water treatment facility that connects to the Gunpowder State Park portion back there, that we're working to get that moved to Hartford County as a local park instead of a state park. We'd like to lease his property back there. They can't build on it. It's all, you know, you can't do anything with it. He's agreed. For that same exact contract, $1 a year for the next however many years, 20 years, whatever. It just removes them from any legal liability, I guess is what he said. So I don't know if that came up in the conversation.
That didn't come up in the conversation, but we'll talk later about that so I know what
Okay.
section you're talking about. But
Go ahead.
Okay, you're talking about putting an 1,800 seat stadium down there in the Joppa area, in the Joppa farm, or the Joppatowne, down that way.
not a stadium. It's already using that wrestling.
Well,
yeah.
that wrestling. But what I'm looking at is you're talking about an additional 1,800 cars in that parking lot that can barely take care of what they normally get down there. Okay, it's a hot mess down there when the Amish market is open. All right, and we're also talking about possibly Friday night, Saturday night, drunks leaving up and out of there. You know, if you're gonna have adult stuff down there, you're gonna have alcohol involved, and you're leaving right out onto Route 40. Has anybody looked up into this about the safety about that down there?
Right now, they're just trying to figure out some more kid-friendly, family-oriented events.
They don't have a liquor license.
They don't have a liquor. There's no liquor license right now. And what he did mention was maybe linking up with the grill on some of that.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the liquor store right across the street there. I mean, I'm just thinking about what it's gonna be looking like down the road.
I mean, I've heard all this from Mr. Peters before, and nothing's come of it, so I'm sure that that's probably going to happen again. But there is another pad in the Joppatowne Plaza. If you look at the plans that they have on their website, if you were to go straight out the front door from Town Grill and look at Dunkin' Donuts, just off to the right near near Joppa Farm Road, there's another place that's supposed to be built there in the future at some point. Maybe that would be another spot for Patient First if the Rite Aid, or if the Shoe City doesn't work out, because it's supposed to be on the plans. Although it would take away parking from the arena that is surely going to be built. And certainly not a lie that he's talking about. So.
Well, at least they're talking.
But the arena currently exists, it's where the wrestling match is. Like,
They're
they're
just
gonna
gonna
use that
reconfigure
space.
that inside that building.
Yeah, just talking about.
I'm sure I have every confidence that he's serious about that, and as serious as he was 3 years ago when he talked about it. So.
Adam, how many years ago was it that Portage came in here to tell us that here in Edgewood, they were gonna do all the new facades and the big lock, shopping centers?
They might now, because they just got $350,000.
How many years ago was that?
22 years ago.
Yep, and
9-10 years ago
Yep.
at least.
so, yeah, we have a lot of confidence.
I know.
Thank you, Nolanda.
Thank you, Yolanda. Allison, you're up.
Nolanda used some of your time, Allison, you only have 6 minutes.
Good evening, everybody. I promise I will make it short. So I want to kind of piggyback off of our conversation from last time. We talked a lot about like the homeless need, the cold weather plan, stuff like that. On January 23rd, Councilwoman Robert and I were able to go and meet with Hartford Family House and the Welcome One Shelter. The general consensus is there's not enough. And so that's basically what we were talking about last time. So we talked about what they were planning to actually do with their facility. I actually brought up Joppatowne Christian Church a few times. And so it was a good conversation, but we definitely had to acknowledge that there were a lot of things that got dropped. And that we can't do this again. And we still are in the thick of winter at this point. So the conversation's going. I also do need to give a shout out to Hartford Community Action Agency, specifically Brian Wainwright. Every single January, Hartford County Community Action Agency does a point in time count. And normally they bring in volunteers from across the county and they go out to different homeless camps and they do an actual point in time count of how many people are homeless in Hartford County, try to get them to safety, try to get them the resources. Well, they set this point in time count on a specific date every single year, and this time it fell during a winter storm. And Brian still went out. It wasn't as thorough of a point in time count as we've tried to do in the past, but the fact alone that he still was set out on going out and getting it on a specific day to be able to make sure that our data was as accurate as possible, I do have to give him props for that. The Humane Society Pet Vaccine Clinic is Saturday, February 28th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Abingdon Fire Company. I recently met with the Humane Society. This past year, as we've kind of seen, they took in quite a few animal hoarding cases, and there's due process allowed for everybody. But those animals have yet to be able to be adopted out, because for as long as those owners are going through the appeals process, those animals have to be taken care of by the Humane Society. So there was about 20 Persian cats that got taken in over the summer.
They're still there.
They're still there. There was a farm that the animals got seized. They started getting them out to foster homes and placements, but then the owners filed the appeal and they had to come on back. So the Humane Society is doing the best that they can, but if anybody has an interest in being able to assist them, call them, see what they need. They do like to try to keep the same food for the animals because these animals are under a lot of stress. And anybody who's had a pet knows switching food for the animals is just not good for them. But they have a very specific list of things that they are looking for at any given time. But they had to have volunteers coming out during the snowstorm, making sure that all of them got taken care of. So we've talked a lot about the people that need extra assistance, but please don't forget those critters as well. There is a Minority and Small Business Resource Festival Wednesday, February 25th from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the Converge Center in Aberdeen. The really cool part is the keynote speaker is Tiffany Blackwell, the owner of the recently opened Tiffany & Co. Bakery. If you haven't met her, she's fantastic. And then we've talked a lot about solar farms and solar plans. There is another one that they are proposing called Solar Star Dorothy Avenue. It is located at 3440 Dorothy Avenue in Joppa. There's public comment though. On Thursday, March 26th at 6 p.m. right here. To participate virtually, you can sign up on the Maryland Public Service Commission website. The case number is 9794. It is through the state. So it's the size that county-wise, we don't really get a whole lot of say, but they are doing public comment.
So we're having two in Joppa. Two of them.
There's one off Old Joppa.
This one is back behind St. Mary's Catholic Church, off of Clayton Road, between Himes and Shirley Lane.
It's back where that big mulch factory is.
Take your word for it.
So public comment, you can participate virtually, but you need to sign up on the website by March 24th, and written comments are also being allowed to be submitted through March 30th. And again, the number that you have to reference is 9794. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Gloria gets
Jeff.
No.
All right. So the state has its own rules, which are laxer than our county rules. So our zoning is thrown out the window. Our master plan is thrown out the window. Our side yard setbacks, our buffers are all thrown out the window. What can we possibly tell these people testifying that would make any difference to them?
I think honestly at this point, enough community members showing a pushback, the reality is it's an election year. So if enough community members come out and say, this is not how we want to move forward here, we need to explore more brown space versus the green space.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've talked about this, like what, and we just had the Falston CAD meeting, we talked about IKEA. Why can't we have those solar panels in the parking lots of our schools? You know, why can't we have them, you know, in the parking lot of Target, for Pete's sake? So, and when I've talked with one of these solar companies about, you know, why aren't we exploring brown space versus green space, their response is, well, it cuts into their profit.
Yes.
So I think it really does come down to community members saying, we're being hammered here at this point. You know, and exploring alternate options. So like the Humane Society, for example, they have a good bit of acreage out behind them. It can't be developed, it's just there. Well, now they're exploring possibly getting their own personal solar panels to help curb their electricity, which might not be a bad idea.
Put it on your roof.
What'd you say?
Put it on the roof.
They could. At this point, I don't know if their roof is still under warranty at this point though. But, you know, exploring different options, you know, the state of Maryland just announced that they were going to refocus some of their funds for alternate energy back into helping people afford energy at this point. So I think this is actually a great time to be able to say, I know you were fast rolling this, but we gotta take a step back here. But I do, you know, you guys know better than anybody. Sometimes just putting out community comment really does make a difference.
Jeff, you have a question first?
I did,
Yeah.
the aminals. If they're part of a case that's still being adjudicated, they can't
be
They can't be
adopted.
fostered with any of their foster partners?
They can to a certain extent, but it depends on the appeal. So, you know, they started doing the foster to adopt program for some of these animals, like the farm animals.
Sure.
But because of the stipulations for that appeals court, they had to bring them on back.
Go ahead.
In reference to the solar panels
Yes.
and putting them on the roofs of some of these buildings, I can understand it. However, doesn't that go contrary to what Mr. Ron here has told us about solar panels being on houses? and the fire department not fighting fires with these things up on there. So you have a humane society packed with animals, the building catches fire, and the fire department says, send Lloyd, can't help you. You know.
You wanna
You know,
answer?
I've said it before, it's a tough question. I'm just telling you from the research that I've seen and the problems that we've had here. Okay, it doesn't mean every place is the same. However, if you've got a house on fire, you've got solar panels on your roof, we cannot ventilate that roof. And people think that, you know, the solar panels, they store energy, they're like a battery. Yeah, you can shut off the power, the problem is those batteries are still stored, they're still stored in batteries. You put water on it, the electricity's gonna come down back to the fire hose and throw the firefighter back a few hundred feet. So it's catch-22. Yes, they can be, they save you money as far as having them on your house. We don't recommend it at this point, and I'm talking to the law, you know, it's a catch-22. At some point, the fire service is gonna have to step up and say yes or no. Right now, we can't say yes or no because it's not real definitive as to what's going on. I can tell you the experiences I've seen, what I've gotten reports on. I can't tell you what's going on all over the United States other than, you know, what I've seen. But yeah, I'm saying, you know, I'm against it. There's a lot of people that are against it. However, we can't say don't do it. Okay. I mean, we just can't say don't do it. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. And a lot of farmers are doing it to save money on electricity to heat the farmhouses and stuff like that, which probably okay. The problem is if you do get a fire, that's when there's going to be an issue.
So maybe the ideal thing is
I mean, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
to be able to put it on the side, not on the roof.
Yeah.
No.
I've had solar panels on my roof since 2012, and I had them in California for 16 years, never had a fire. The occurrences, I understand Ron's point, and we have difference of opinion. The occurrences of fires related to solar panels, one, if you get a reputable company, you should have no issue. Two, it's less than 1 in 100,000 installations. It's almost non-existent as a problem, but I do understand what he's saying. If a fire started in my house,
You gotta get to that.
I would stand outside and tell the firefighters, don't even bother, because I let that shit burn to the ground. That's why I have insurance, and I'll rebuild the house out of it. I don't want you to save my house. Ain't nobody in it. Let that thing burn. I don't understand it. Don't save it.
All right.
That's why I got a sign outside that said, don't save it. I keep cans of gas in the garage just for that purpose.
This stuff's being recorded. Stop, man.
Something happens, it covers my head.
Any other questions?
I understand.
All right,
Well,
thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here from Andre's office? Anybody here from Lauren Erickson's office? Pam, Kim, do you have anything you want to talk about?
At the next meeting, I'll share some events. Our team met yesterday to
Oh,
point
okay.
out 2026. The biggest thing that we have is the spring Harford County Spring National Boat Race is coming to. It's the 4th year, but we're co-hosting this year to combine with our music event. It's at Flying Point Park, so I'll have flyers when we finalize that. So that's a partnership with 4 organizations.
Okay.
We're the lead on the ground side with Hello Hartford. And then we will be releasing our schedule of community cleanups. We have 6 sites, and we have a team lead at each site, and the Harford County residents can go to any of the sites. It's just more convenient for some of the families without transportation so that we have these different areas. And so more information to come in March.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, do you have anything for us?
Sure. Sorry, 1 second. You know, Jeff. All right. So, we did not have a Joppa Development and Heritage Corporation meeting because of the fact that our parking lot wasn't cleared till yesterday, and it's still, the upper lot still isn't. So at this point, we're not going to have one for a little while because the homeless shelter is coming next week. More on that in a second. This Thursday starts the AARP free tax help at the Joppatowne Christian Church building. If this excites you, please get an appointment very quickly. There are 6 appointments left this Thursday, so 3 days from now. There are 16 appointments left in April. That's it, 22 appointments left. So if you're looking for free tax help from the AARP in Joppatowne, joppatowne.church/taxes, and that has a direct link to where you need to go, or you can go to the AARP website, but I don't know the address on that. So it's the Tax Aid Service, and it's open to all ages. You don't have to be a AARP member or a senior or anything like that. Anybody can take advantage of it. We also had a cancellation of the blood drive that was supposed to be on January 30th. That one was not weather related. Well, it kind of was. There was another drive that got canceled, and they decided to take the staff that was supposed to be doing the blood drive in Joppatowne and put them at the other drive. And they said, well, it was because we had more donors at the other drive. I get it. It's a utilitarian decision that was made. However, I'm trying to build up donors. This is the second time that they've canceled the drive on us in the past year, and a lot of the donors that we had signed up, they weren't in school. It was going to be high schoolers, but I'm trying to get people excited. So I'm starting to look at other blood drive opportunities, and if anybody has any interest in that, let me know. The shelter does start on Sunday in Joppatowne. Right now it's in Aberdeen. We made a deal, the church that's hosting right now, they were like, hey, this is the only week that works for us, and so we really want this week when it was supposed to be our week, and we said, well, you can have the week, but we want Super Bowl Sunday. So we traded, so we get the guests coming to us on Super Bowl Sunday, and they're coming to us around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If anybody wants to come help schlep stuff in, that's great. If anybody wants to come watch the Super Bowl, that's great too. Open party for everybody, no alcohol, sorry. But everything else is available. Lots of food, come on down, have fun, bring anybody you want. And if you want, feel free to stick around for the next 2 weeks when we'll be hosting the homeless shelter. For some reason, our crazy ladies in our church decided to do 2 weeks in a row, which we've never done before. And because of the Super Bowl, we're actually getting 15 days in a row. So if you would like to help us, we could probably use it. More on that at joppatowne.church/shelter. I hate to bring this up, but some of you may have seen that my day got interesting at one point today. And we're just trying to help everybody that we can in the shelter. One of our guests was aggrieved, and I'm not sure that he deserves to be aggrieved, but we're trying to help him. And if you have any questions about the way people are treated in our shelter, you can either come talk to me, or you can see it for yourself if you volunteer at joppatowne.church/shelter, as we're doing 15 days in a row. One last thing, 4 years ago, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's an election year. My goodness, we have some people who are passionate about local elections that are running for them. 4 years ago, the Joppa Development and Heritage Corporation ran an election for them, but we waited till the general, and I don't know if you've noticed, but this is Harford County. One of the real elections happens in the primary. So we are going to try to run an election for them in the primary. We're looking at Wednesdays in May, the later part of May, and then also a Tuesday in that area as well. As soon as the candidates are finalized, which happens this month, I'm going to be sending out notification to all of them that we would like to host an election for them. If you're interested in that, I could probably use some help. Ralph and I kind of tag teamed it last year during the election forum, but we are going to ask people to, it's going to be live streamed. We're going to ask them questions. What are you going to do for our area, District A? I'm also, last time we had District B involved, I'm more than happy to help District B. I could probably even host it if District B wants it, but we are not in District B. The church building is very far away from District B. So if there's a church or another organization in District B that is willing to host it and wants to run a live stream, I'd be more than happy to help that church and figure out how to get that going. I just kind of think it should be in District B if that's the case. So we'll see, but if anybody's interested in that, please talk to me. Again, we're looking at May. The planning has already started, and we really get going once the candidate list is finalized, which should be in a few weeks. So,
Thank you, Adam. Gloria? All right, who has the sign-up sheet? I'm not leaving without it.
You know what? I think I might have the sign-up sheet from last time in my car, but my car's not here, so.
It's a game we play every month, Paul, we hide it from
The
you.
first time
No,
I
we're
was
scanning
down
it. That's
okay.
You're already on it.
You're in the audit, she's got your email, so.
Yeah, she said don't sign your email if you don't sign it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
I missed the first presentation because I had some things to do before I came to the meeting. I got a question, I need some help.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a person that's been missing for almost 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to.
Okay.
We're talking about that.
We're all worried
about it. Yes.
we're saying prayer for your
Yeah, that's what's scary, it's concerning, especially with all the stuff going on.
The person's gone.
Alright guys, so officially, Miss Faye.
Yes.
Alright. So, hey guys, I officially graduated my NASDAQ program and I opened up my own holistic health practitioner office in Edgewood. So,
Where is that located? Where is that?
next to the brothel. Professional building.
What was that address?
I'm located.
I'm sorry I asked for
So it's the Sandpebble Professional Building, and literally it's like a brother.
Very
But
professional.
It's 2809 Pulaski Highway. So there you have the taxi title, U-Haul, everybody, their mama's in that building. But I'm in that building as well, so if you need holistic services, by next meeting, we'll be up and running fully, and I'll see you guys there.
Do you have a website?
I do. It's my name, melissadiriscaenterprise.com.
Okay. Next to the brothel.
Are you doing anything this month?
I am.
For Heart Month?
They are next door.
This Sunday is Red Dress Sunday.
So I'm still in the beginning phases of putting it all together. I just got the keys, y'all. I just got the keys. Okay. Bob, your turn.
I have nothing.
Thank you.
It's a hard one to follow up.
Meeting adjourned?
All right, in that case, the meeting is adjourned. Everybody be safe going home. And it is
Watch out for the
8:30.
That note, we're adjourned.
Look at those. Carmen, you on that side of the
Well, that's